Alright, hello, and welcome to the Titanfall tier list, based off of fun and effectiveness. In this tier list, we will be ranking every single Titan in Titanfall 2 based on how fun they are to play and how effective they are to play. Spoiler warning, none can be both. Alright, starting off with Ion here, this is a very good Titan. She's not bad, she's not great at anything at all. She's the perfect mid-tier Titan. You know, her abilities, they all make sense. She has a primary gun that can do damage and not do damage at the same time. She can deal some great damage, but she can also actually suck sometimes. Her abilities include a shield to catch and throw back enemy projectiles, a laser tripwire, which I swear no one uses, and the grand laser shot, which will destroy both pilots and titans. She's really good on offense and defense at the same time. All in all, great Titan, B tier. Alright, up next we have Scourge, the big man of the group, for he is the biggest Titan in the game. His abilities include a thermal shield to burn both projectiles and the foes he faces. Uh, he has a thermite launcher, I guess. I don't know, remember the name. He has a thermite launcher to burn enemies from afar, though it actually sucks and is the worst primary in the game for effectiveness. He has incendiary traps to kind of just guard off enemies and destroy them if they stand in the wrong positions. And the flame wall to ignite the ground and just kind of boxes enemies in. All in all, great Titan. His effectiveness isn't as good as you might think it is, but he's very fun to play. B tier. Alright, up next is North Star, the sniper of the group. She is very fast and maneuverable, much like a Ronin, which we still hate, and they will forever be anime weebs. That's for later, though. But she is completely aim dependent. She has one way of dealing damage unless you want to use her core, which is only useful if it's a last stand situation. You will stand near the far back of the group, never really being in the action yourself. Her projectile is fast, but not fast enough, so you're gonna miss a lot of your shots if you're kind of new to the game. But otherwise, her abilities are flight, trap. She can throw down a trap. So it has a cluster missile, which will basically it just does damage in an AOE area. So that's your other way of dealing damage. It has a decently long cooldown though, so it's really only useful in some situations. All in all, lightly shitted Titan. Alright, next up we have the horrible, disgusting anime weeb of the group, Ronin. He uses a sword for his melee, which is half the reason why every single person on the planet picks Ronin as their Titan. I kid you not, that is actually the reason why. His abilities include a phase dash to get behind enemies, though that can kill him if he phases into an enemy Titan. He has an arc wave to deal some damage, and he also has a sword block which will deal 50% of oncoming damage. Just gone, blocked. Nothing you can do about that. All in all, he's super annoying. His gameplay consists of W and F, and maybe sometimes spacebar. But otherwise, that is Ronin right there. Shit tier Titan, shit plus Titan. Next up on the list, we have Tone. Tone is a Atlas class Titan. She can deal damage from both mid to far ranges, which is where she excels. Her 40mm tracking cannon, while it doesn't do much damage on its own, when combining with her tracking rockets, she is an actual menace on the battlefield and can rip and tear through basically every Titan in the game. Basically, how she works is that every time she fires her tracking cannon, it'll gain one lock. That one lock will then be added to said Titan. Once she gets 3 locks on one single Titan, she can fire a barrage of missiles at her opponent, dealing up to a full bar of health. Which, if you didn't know, Titan health is divided into bars. You have bigger health bar, and you have the mini bars of health. One salvo core can do basically all of that. Her abilities include a wall to defend herself, which can just be plopped down just about anywhere and is not bound to her whatsoever. She has a sonar pulse to see enemies from afar, and that will also lock on to enemies if you want it to. And finally, her missile salvo, which is going to shred enemies. All in all, she's not super fun to play, but because she's so effective on the battlefield, she'll get a C tier. Alright, up next, in our second to last Titan to place on the tier list, we have Legion, the heavy weapons guy. His Predator cannon has two firing modes, which he can switch between at any time, being long range and short range, depending on where you're going to be placing in the battlefield. He has a power shot to both deal massive damage and knock enemies away from him at the expense of massive amounts of ammo. He also has a gun shield, which he can then put up over his gun to basically block all incoming damage in that general area. Though, unlike Tones, it is bound to him, meaning that wherever the gun is facing, that's where the shield is going to be. All in all, he is extremely effective, but really not that fun or effective for new players, I should add. All in all, hard Titan to play. I'm going to give him a lightly shitted tier. And last but not least, we have Monarch, the DLC Titan. She was the latest addition and still is because Titanfall 2 has stopped development at this point, which is very sad, but I'm going to hope for Titanfall 3 to come out, and we've gotten a few leaks that may suggest that. Alright, moving back on to Monarch. She is a very different sort of Titan. Her entire kit is based around survival. She can siphon energy from other Titans. She has a small salvo of missiles to project at her enemies. But otherwise, she doesn't really have all that much going on for her. However, this is where the cores come in. I have not mentioned cores for any other Titans because you can kind of guess what they are, you know? However, Monarch is a much different story. You see, every core Monarch gets, she can upgrade herself one time. There are 3 upgrades that she can get, each of them ranging in power. This can lead from her gun dealing more damage to getting even more bars of health, which is actually insane. She also has an ability that lets her steal batteries on execution, which is also insane because batteries will boost her and let her live longer. When she starts off, she is one of the worst, if not the worst, Titan in the game, but if she can last long enough to get to her 3rd core, she is going to wreck the battlefield more than every other Titan. It would need a small army to take down Monarch, but since she's not as fun to play as the other Titans, I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna have to give her lightly shitted tier. All in all, thanks for watching, and do remember that this is completely my opinion, and depending on your skill level, your rankings may change for all the Titans. This is just what I find to be the most fun ranked out of all the Titans, combined with their effectiveness just to make the video a bit more interesting. As you can see, there's no real best Titan of the group, you know? No Titan is bad, except for a few, except for one, sorry. And no Titan is good unless you really know how to use their effective playstyle. And yet no Titan can be both fun and super effective on the battlefield, which is why there's no one in A tier or S tier. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you, hopefully, in the next video. See ya.